Yo, it's the Jolly and Slimm Show. Here, let's go. Time to lock in, turn the volume up. We bring that heat, yeah, we keep it tough. Mindset, hustle, life on the go. You already know it's the Jolly and Slimm Show.
What's up, good people? It's time for another episode of the Jolly and Slimm Show. I'm Slim.
Jolly.
And he's Jolly. And this is episode 7.
Yeah, we kind of trucking along on it. So.
Yeah, I was actually doing some math, some sort of math, the other day, and originally our thought was to try to get to like episode 55 by the time of National. We're gonna have to do like 3 episodes a week essentially for the rest of the time to do that. I don't think it's gonna.
Well, when I started doing that little math in the beginning, and I was like, well, 2 times a week does not add up.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, we can
Well,
essentially.
If the plan is to try to have Gary on episode 55, we could do it one of 2 ways, right? We could either ask him at the National if he wants to be on episode 55, or we could ask him and record an episode, or at least some sort of segment of an episode there, but not release it until episode 55. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and honestly, when you go to Orlando and you have a second to talk to him, maybe you might be able to throw that idea out there. 'Cause, I mean, we're definitely not going to get Gary on the podcast. I mean, it'd be awesome if we did. We're not getting him on there, but we just need like.
You don't know who I am. No, I'm kidding.
We need like a 45-second, minute and a half, 2-minute little clip real quick of him talking, like us asking one little question or something. That's all we really need. We're not. It'd be awesome.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be awesome to get longer, but I know how.
Yeah. Well,
have you seen that? Have you seen what he's doing right now? Like there's some like book he's helping these people sell. He like went live on YouTube. The name, I think it's some guy. It's a woman named Cass and somebody else, her husband, I'm assuming. And like, the name of the book is like Shovel. I think it's Shovel Shit or something like that.
Sounds like right up Gary's alley.
And he's wearing the Gratitude Gorilla.
I saw the shirt. Yeah.
So that's what he's wearing on that. So I guess he's trying to help push that book. I mean, they're selling like he's trying to get people to buy like quantities of that book to give out. To give out to people or whatever. So
that's kind of cool.
So I guess he's just trying. And I got this.
Yeah, I didn't get a physical copy yet, but I actually got the Kindle version. I started reading it.
Well, I don't even have a Kindle, so
but I have a phone.
Oh, you can read it on your phone.
Kindle app you can get on your phone. Yeah.
Oh well, I'm not.
But either way.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. So I actually got the Kindle version too, just because to help them out.
Yeah.
And then I saw because when I did look at the Kindle version, there was only an option for like the hardback at like $20-something or whatever. And I don't read books. I have to listen to them. So,
yeah, sure.
So then I saw that paperback. I was like, well, I'll go ahead and get that one too, just in case.
There you go.
I mean, it kind of goes along with what I do. So.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of. I read the first chapter so far. It's pretty good. It's well written for sure. I want to finish it for sure. But what's been going on in the world of Jolly Jacko, man? How's your week?
It's been good.
How's your week?
I guess. I mean, just trying to with spring break coming up on Friday, just trying to make it to Friday.
Oh, you got spring break coming up. Interesting.
And usually in the past, our spring break is like this week. So we're a little bit behind on our spring break, and our students.
You can tell.
Oh yeah, everybody needs a break, man. It's
That's
like
funny.
everybody. It's wild. And we have on Thursday we have our it's called Spring Showcase. It's kind of like a fall festival type deal. We do one in the fall, we do one in the spring. So, it's a spring showcase that I'm probably going to be at work until like 7-ish probably.
Right.
And don't get paid for the extra time I have to be there.
Right.
So It's not, and because normally on Thursday I work till 6 that I get paid because I'm at after school program.
Sure.
But this Thursday, since we have that, I have to stay longer, and I don't get paid.
And you don't get paid for any of it, right?
So like I'm not too happy about that, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's not good.
Hey, it is what it is.
So it goes towards your community service hours, though, right? For your probation. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, community service. I was like, oh yeah. Yeah. So last night when me and Bees probably talked another 30, 45 minutes after we
I
got
left,
phone.
yeah.
And then like I finally got off at him, and it was like pushing close to 1 o'clock at that point.
Right.
And then when I woke up this morning, I got an alert that Bees went live. I was like, dang, dude.
He was up this morning doing it live on Twitter. When I got up and started kind of watching, he was already like 2 hours in to the live.
Yeah,
and I got up at about 6 o'clock, so 7 o'clock your time.
I got up around like maybe a little bit before, maybe about 5:45. I think he went live on Twitter or X or whatever around like 5 o'clock.
It had to have been about 5 o'clock Eastern, yeah.
Now, where he is there a time difference where he's at, or
no?
is he on the same?
You guys are in the same time zone.
So like, I don't know what time he went to sleep, or did he go to sleep?
Right,
because he told me
right, yeah.
when we got off, because he wasn't working today either. So when we got on the phone, he was like, "Yeah, I'm probably gonna like get things ready for my last episode or episode 8. So like, be on the lookout." And I didn't realize he was actually doing them on X. I thought he was just like recording them on his own and then having.
Right.
That's kind of maybe he does them in the morning time, and I just didn't know that.
You just never noticed, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely he was definitely live when I woke up, and I was like, oh, he's live on Twitter. Interesting. I'm not gonna call it X. I'm not gonna do it.
And he was dressed up too.
Yeah.
He had his tracksuit on.
Yeah. And somebody was one of the Australians was with him. Was chatting with him. I don't know who it was.
It wasn't Craig, was it?
It wasn't Craig because they mentioned Craig in conversation. So it was somebody else. But either way, yeah.
So when I looked up today, and when I text you, like it was like $1,999 for 40 blasters, which is at a $50 blaster box.
Oh yeah, blowout or whatever.
I'm like you, man. I'm definitely not gonna like go buy any boxes at double the price right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it release. I'm gonna find out what my shop's charging. I just don't think my shop could. I'm not saying they won't. I don't think they could charge or are going to charge 50 a blaster for a product that they know that like they only got one.
You're the only guy that's going to buy them potentially, right?
Unless they're just trying to like screw me over,
right?
And they're like, "We're going to get this guy."
Well, they could attempt to go online, and then there's also the thought of like DNA, right? Like David Adams is buying boxes at 175 and selling them for 225 or whatever their 250, whatever their number is, right? So let's say your guy gets a case of blasters and David Adams is paying $435 for blasters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to at least pay him that. You know what I'm saying? If he does the research, right? If he does the research and finds out that he could sell them to somebody else for higher.
I think I would be. This is what my guess is going to be. I think he's going to have a $35 or $40 blaster.
Yeah, and I think that's probably fair.
I don't think he'll hit 50, and honestly, he may have it at retail price because
blasters technically do have a retail price, right? Hobby boxes technically don't have like an MSRP, from what I understand.
Yeah, because they're not really getting put in.
Right, the market decides, right? We got them for $99.99 on the pre-sale thing because that's what Topps decided to do for that. That could potentially be, I doubt that it is, but like, you don't know that that's not what shops are paying. You know what I mean? It's not, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so, I mean, it could be, but I think they're going to level out at probably what David Adams is paying for him, 175.
Yeah,
that's what I think it'll level out to.
In order for shops to sell them for 99, they're going to have to be paying $50 a piece for them. And I don't
This is
think that
what
that's what their price is. I think their price
no.
is probably closer to 75 or $80 a box.
What we should do is get all the VeeFriends and people to stand strong and just not buy them.
Yeah, it's too late for that.
And then they'll drop the price, and then we can get them at that price.
If people would have just not, and I mean, even still, like, we speculated 175, 180, maybe even 200, depending on how many packs, right? So I originally thought there were going to be 24 packs maybe in the box, but 18. So even at 180 ish, 175, right? That's $10 a pack, which is what Gary said, 10 or less.
I don't think that's a bad. I don't think that's a bad. I mean,
I don't either.
I guess because we already speculated the 175, 200. So
Right.
like them selling for 200 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where we were planning on spending our money anyway.
Right. And the 99.99 was like a pleasant surprise, but it was also like a, hey, like some people are going to get the option to buy them at this price, but not everybody. I would like to see how many boxes actually got sold. Has Topps released that information, do you think? Like how many boxes got raffled? Like how many raffle winners were there? And how many of those people bought one or two? So how many boxes were sold in the raffle?
I don't think that was released, but I will tell you this. I saw a graphic today. Let me look at it real quick.
Yeah.
That the Roach.
The Roach.
Find her. She posted. I'm trying. It's hard sometimes to find. Okay.
Technology, man. I'll tell you.
Like, come on.
That stuff is dangerous.
All right, here it is. Here it is. I just went straight to it, and guess who had it printed out? So it says right now, this is a thing that I guess Topps Chrome print run confirmed.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So it's for hobby. There's 24,778 boxes.
Okay.
There's 31,138 blaster boxes. So there's a total of 55,916 boxes, which equals out to 100,000 total packs. There's like 446,000 of hobby and 249,100 packs of blaster.
Okay.
And then for the which one is this? Is it Magna? Yes, yeah. For that actual print run, there's 58,621 of those cards in the hobby, and there's 11,602 in blaster. The Erupt. There's only 67 Erupts in blasters.
Yeah, well, that one's like.
Yeah, because that's the big one. There's only 64 of the stained glass in blasters. So.
Okay, I'm seeing that now.
Yeah, so that's So if you get a Erupt or a stained glass in blasters, like you hitting something big at that point, which makes sense. I mean, those are the chases, the big ones.
Yeah.
So there's a chance the Magna you'll have a good shot in blasters. Really the Magna and the like baseball one or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Those two have the highest odds of getting in blasters. Well, you also have the sketch to screen that you have the odds of that. You have good odds. Well, there's better odds. And then the non-auto cards of the Entrepreneur F, there's like over 5,000 in blasters.
Oh yeah, there's almost as many sketch to screens as there are mangas in blasters.
Yeah,
and in hobby. So yeah, that's cool.
So technically, you'll be hitting those in the blasters more than anything.
Yeah.
And now was it sketch cards? I guess you can say.
Yep.
which is I don't like this.
There's not very many of those.
There's only 13 sketch cards. Well, no.
Yeah, 722.
Oh, no. Yeah, there's 722 of the sketch cards, but there's only 13 of the Gary V blank canvas sketch cards in a blaster.
Oh, okay.
So you hit one of those in a blaster, like you doing something.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to figure all of the sketches are one of ones, right? So like,
yeah,
because they're hand sketched, right? So there's not more than one of any of them. So yeah, so that one makes sense that there's only a few of those,
so
and that they're going to be super hard to find.
So there's only 55,916 total boxes, which that's still a lot of boxes. You know what I mean?
Isn't that how many Series 2 boxes there are?
Yeah. I mean, there's just not 55,000. There's just not 55,000 hobby boxes.
Yeah, total boxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so, I mean,
like, we're all doing all this, like, debating and arguing and, oh my gosh, is there going to be enough supply and all, but there's still thousands of unopened Series 2 boxes out there.
Yeah. So like people are, everybody's like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get one.
There's still tens of thousands of unopened Series 2 boxes out there.
Yeah. So everybody's like, we're freaking out.
And they're 2 years old.
Yeah. So
there's plenty of cards.
So, I mean, just for this run right here, let's just look at it. If we're already 2 years old in Series 2 and there's still thousands of boxes left, then we're probably got at least a good 5 years of opening these cards.
Right. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of cards. Yeah.
Unless everybody just like goes buck wild and like.
Now the price point is going to be a little different, so that makes it a little bit, but.
Yeah, the
but
price
not
point
from early on. Price point on Series 2 early on, apart from the fact that a lot of people got them for free. Like,
well, I think my first
early
Series
on
2
price point on Series 2 was about what Hobby is selling for now.
Yeah, because I think my first Series 2 box I bought for myself to open, I think I paid like $225.
Yeah, $225, $250 is about where they were when I first started buying them, something around in there. So that's not any different. Like it's less cards, but not many. If you think about it's only 5 more packs, it's only 20 more cards.
And I'm glad that and I know that most companies come out with the print odds and stuff like this of the cards, but to be honest with you, in the sports car world, I never really looked at it. But honestly, I never really was like, I like new products that came out, but I never was like, I really want this product. I'm going to go look at the checklist and see how many cards. So, like, this is the first time I actually looking at the print run, which I wish I would have done years ago for sports cars, because now you can, you get the odds of whatever you're trying to search for. Like, if you want the erupts and stained glass, like, don't buy blasters.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like buy the thing you're looking to get. Essentially, yeah.
And that's what I heard a lot of people saying, like, hey, it depends on what you're trying, like, whatever you're trying to search for, it's affordable, because, like, if you're not worried about the stained glass and you want to take your chance to get, there's only 64 in the blasters, then buy blasters all day long.
Right.
And there's 40 blasters in a case.
Yeah, okay.
So that's actually, I like the fact that there's 40, because now I know that my shop that I'm going to at least has 40 blasters. So,
sure.
I know right now that I will be able to get some Topps Chrome day of release.
Right.
Now, is it going to be a hobby? I don't know, because that shop that is like an hour away. If they get hobby, I'm driving down there.
Right.
So
yeah, all the shops are an hour away from me. So there's no shop. There's no shop Topps Chrome. Like, there's no Topps store closer than an hour to me.
And what I don't think a lot, and this, I mean, and honestly, with no disrespect or anything like that, I know, like, people say that. No disrespect, and say something really
Really
disrespectful.
disrespectful. Yeah.
Like respectfully,
Respectfully, yeah.
but like it shows that there are some people that don't understand the card game, understand the
Sure.
card world because like of certain things, which is fine. Everybody's got to learn one way or the other, but it just it. Hopefully, this was a learning process for everybody that is jumping in. That like they can understand like okay, there's a lot of logistics that goes
Yeah.
into these type of things, and
Well, and when you think about like for most of the people, and I'm going to say most because I believe that that's true. For most of the people in the VeeFriends community, the only card collecting they've ever done on any real level is VeeFriends. So they
yeah.
don't understand. They don't know. And it's not that they're dumb, it's just that they don't know, right? Like you don't know what you don't know. So, like you said, it's going to be like.
And it also says right here, there's no short print base in Chrome.
Right, they're
so
all the same. Yeah.
And there's 21,653 Black Cat cards. So
total.
Yeah. So basically, most people are going to have a chance at getting a Black Cat.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's not anything special.
Yeah, it's not the Black Cat.
Because it's no different. Getting a Black Cat in Topps Chrome is no different than getting any other character inside of Topps Chrome. Unless you get it out of 5 or a 1 of 1 or whatever, like then it is. But like, getting the base one doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
Because
as far as collectability goes, because like you said, everybody's going to be able to get one.
If you're just wanting to collect a base set, then what you should do, this is my not financial advice.
Not financial advice.
I would just let people just rip, and just go to eBay and start buying for $1 or $2 off eBay.
That's right. Yep.
Like you probably could get your whole base set. When I say not in the beginning, because people are gonna be spending $5-10 a card probably, but let it die down, and you probably can get the whole 100-card base set for what, $200 maybe, $250. Yeah. If you piece it together right, because there's gonna be some cards that you might can get cheaper than $1.
Yeah. So if you think about, there's 18 packs in a hobby box, so that's 72 cards. So you have to open at least a box and a half to get a base set, and that's without hitting any duplicates or any variants or any inserts or anythings, right? That's just if you only pull base cards. So chances are you've got to open 5 or 6 hobby boxes to get the 100 card base set, right?
And to be quite frank, you probably want to open some blasters because you're going to get more base cards.
Because you're going to get more base cards out of that. But I'm just saying, if all you did was open hobbies, right? 5 or 6, like 5 hobby boxes is minimum $1,000 unless you got some at the $100 price, right?
Yeah.
So like you said, if you can go online and get them $3, $4, $5 a card, that's $500 because there's only 100 of them. So
you don't have to chase it anymore.
Right? Yeah. If you're just wanting to collect the base set, I think that's exactly the way to do it. Is you just buy the cards. You might open some packs because you want to open some packs, and and then go buy the other ones because like opening packs is fun, right? So
with your 2 boxes that you're getting, what are you going to do with them?
I don't know yet. I
know I'm opening one.
Oh, I'm definitely opening one. I just don't know if I'm going to open one for myself or if I'm going to sell the packs. You know I think for $100, I have to, because it only cost me $100, I think I just have to open it as a personal box.
That's what I was going to say. Like, because otherwise, if you sell it and sell by the packs and you make a little bit of money,
right?
You can be like, oh,
now
I need my now I need my card. So now you're going to take that money and basically spend it. So like, why not? So I think that I'm going to try to open one and keep one sealed.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll accumulate other boxes along the way, I'm sure. Because like I said, once things kind of settle down, I'm not going to be scared to drop a couple $100 on a hobby box. So I'll open more packs throughout the course of this project, right? For sure. So I'm not worried about that, I don't think.
I think my first 2 that I get, I'm definitely not doing breaks. I'm going to string me open a box just because. Sure. Now I open my box. I'm gonna keep one sealed, and I'll probably go to my shop, buy some blasters. Probably spend if I can get them at $30, $40 a blaster, I'll probably buy 8 to 10 blasters,
Right.
and I'll probably sell packs for that. And the packs are going to be different too, because someone did ask that question, like, are the packs going to be different between blasters and hobby? Because you can go buy blasters, and if it was the same packaging, you can mix it in to.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So that's smart that they made the packaging
So
different.
the packs are actually different artwork.
Yeah, well, maybe it may not be artwork, but it could be a different color. Like the hobby's purple on their outside, and this one's yellow. You know, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So that way, people couldn't. Not that people would.
People would.
But like we talked.
I don't know about in this community, but people would.
People will, but it won't be community members. It's going to be people that are not in the community trying to. Because we're going to see that.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be people that are breaking this only because they know that people are looking for it.
Right.
Now, like I would pay attention to who's been involved with VeeFriends. Like Mama Breaks, she's involved in VeeFriends. She spoke at VCon apparently. I think she did.
Yeah.
So like she's gonna have boxes, and I would trust her for sure.
Right.
So I would look at who VeeFriends knows and does business with. So if you're not gonna break with a community member, that's who I would trust. I wouldn't just trust some sketchy person. Because,
anybody off the street.
Yeah, because I see it every single day, and you may see it too, where on Facebook I'm on the like scammers pages for sports cars. It's like every single day people are like, got scammed by this person. I'm like, dude, the guy's profile picture is a cat.
Right.
Like, yeah. Like, and there's someone that, I mean, and a lot of people and whatnot, especially like, and I'm gonna say young bucks, but it's probably adults and older.
Sure.
Older. But like I saw someone the other day or this morning post that they got into a break. They didn't watch the break because like whatever, they went to bed or whatever. And then they realized that, oh man, I was in a break, and they went and looked at the video. Cause I think you can still, if you purchase something,
you can look at receipts.
You can go look at the receipt or whatever the video.
Yeah. And
he saw that he pulled a Caleb Williams like kaboom or something like that. Like it was a big card. So he was like, oh, I haven't got anything in the mail. And then when he went and looked, the guy blocked him. So what's happening is you got people that are just going and buying and spending money on boxes and doing breaks. And when they hit the big card, they just shut down, leave, whatnot.
Right.
Which is messed up because, like, yeah, that card might bring you in about $1,000 or whatever it may bring.
What?
But you're willing to like risk
the
business you may be trying to create, whatever you're trying to build for $1,000. Like, yeah, at that time, you an 18-year-old kid, of course, like you're like, oh, big bucks, but they probably spent that $1,000 in 2 days.
Right.
So like now, what you gonna do? Create a whole nother account, go in there and try to build your following up. So like, it's definitely when it comes to getting in breaks on whatnot, but most people are going to probably break with trusted breakers anyway.
Right.
Like for the most part. And then the people that you're not trusting, they're going to have to sell their product pretty cheap because.
Yeah.
And and in sports, I'm sure you did it too. Like when you're trying to get in breaks, you kind of go in those rooms that got like 8 people in it.
Yeah. Because you want to get the first shot at your team.
And you could get like spots for like $9.
Yeah.
I did that for basketball products before, trying to get some wins.
I've been in lots of Facebook groups over the years for sports card breaks, and as they grow, it becomes less fun, essentially. You would think like more people means more action and more fun, but it doesn't. Because if you get into a group early, you're the only Dolphins fan in the group. So you get the Dolphins every time. Right?
Yeah.
But then once there's 4 or 5 other people that are trying to buy the Dolphins, if you're not first, you're out.
See when I was still doing breaks and I'm still doing breaks with sports card on my business. I just haven't done it in a while because of VeeFriends.
Sure.
But I actually have a case of Panini Prism basketball about to be once the guy gets the numbers I need to pay him. I'm getting a case of that of blasters, pretty good price. From a guy in VeeFriends, Jake Baker. He owns Liquid Sports Cards. So I'm getting a case from him. But and I'll do breaks. But like I have like a small clientele that I
Right.
know that like when I put product up, people are getting spots fairly cheap.
Right.
Um, I'm making my money back. I'm not ripping people off, and like you said, people know it's the same people getting their team every time.
Right.
But when
Yep.
you get in there and you have to fight all the time for your team, and all of a sudden fight and spend $45 for the Atlanta Hawks,
Right.
like,
Yeah. 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 You're like,
like
oh,
you're
this
like, hold
sucks.
on.
I
Like,
don't like it here at all.
yeah, so like
I have
that's
a interesting story about so somebody in VeeFriends um messaged me on Whatnot couple weeks ago, and they were like, "Hey, come check out this show." So I went in, and this young kid, was doing $1 starts for like Pokemon cards or whatever, and so I was like, "All right, cool. I respect the hustle, right? I'll buy a couple spots, you know." And it was a spinny wheel thing with 4 or 5 chasers and stuff, and so I bought a spot and I hit a little whatever card. I don't even know. It's a Pokemon card. I don't know anything about it. I bought 3 spots and I hit a couple 3 cards, whatever it was. The person that invited me to the room had bought some spots too, and he hit the big chaser that was on the board, right? On his like second spin. And you could hear the kid. If you go back and watch the video receipt, you can I heard it live, but you can hear the kid, like, he was young, 9, 10 years old, you know, he was a young kid. You could hear him, you could hear the disappointment because somebody hit the big card, and now no one's going to want to buy the spots because the big card is gone, right? So I bought another spot after the big card was hit just to help him, you know, just to keep him going. And I ended up buying 3 total spots, only got 2 cards in the mail. And the person that had invited me into that room messaged me and was like, "Hey, did you get your stuff from so and so?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a package, but I'm pretty sure it was 1 card short." And I was like, I'm not gonna bother with it. It is what it is, you know, whatever. But he got his package too, and that card wasn't in it. So I was like, man, like, I understand that, like, I understand, like, it sucks because it's like a little kid, so you don't want to be like super dickhead about it, but at the same time, it's like, if you don't do it now,
yeah,
like, he's gonna think he can keep doing that, you know. And I'm sure he wasn't like, you could hear him, he was like, "Oh, what is so and so's luck, man? They hit the blah 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 blah." Like, oh, you know, you could hear him like being like, "Dang, this sucks," you know, like, almost like. And so I was like, I'll buy another spot just to like try to pump the kid back up. And I was like, then I only got 2 of my cards, and I was like, dang, man, this kid, like, no shot,
See,
bro.
that's happened to me before. Like, I've set it up. I think I had like a wheel, or maybe I did had the cards
Sure.
flip, and I literally, like,
Your
within like
first card is, yeah.
the second spin, I hit it. Like, I would say I've had it where I've like 3 spots in a row in the beginning were all the big spots.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, then you're just
What do I do now?
like, now you're stuck because no one's going to pay that
Right. Well, you could
$15
always
for.
throw in some more chasers or something just to kind of make it better. But like, it's funny because, like, as the seller, you know, going into it that the buyer is gambling, right? Like, they're going to get something, they're going to win something, but it's not necessarily the thing that's the biggest thing, right? But you don't think about it from this perspective of the first buyer could win the big thing, and then what? Like, then what
Well,
do
that's
you do?
why if you notice, that's why a lot of breakers and stuff made it where, like, high bid gets the high team, and they wouldn't put them in there. They would say that for basketball, they would take out the top 3 teams, like the Spurs.
Yeah, you lock up teams. Yeah,
and basically you did wheel spins on the other one, and at the end there was like, or maybe just took out the Spurs in general.
Yeah.
And like you spun that way. There's still some chases on the wheel or in the card or whatever, and then say it did come down to the team that's left is the Milwaukee Bucks or whatever, and you're like, crap, you're only going to get like this, but the Spurs are still on the board
because
so
they're the
right. High bid get the Spurs plus the Bucks,
So
so
the
you end up with
last
two teams.
the last team in those cases, typically the last team is always the highest bid.
Yeah, so you want
Right.
people to bid high so that way you kind of get the Bucks plus you get the big team.
Correct.
So
yeah, I saw, I think it was Curry did that one time. When I was on, it's like it was it? It wasn't. It was the Texans. It was the C.J. Stroud's rookie year, and high bid got the Texans. So it was 2 years ago, or whatever, a year and a half ago for cards, whatever it was. But anyway,
and what sucks is basketball and football this past year. You really didn't have any good players like rookies.
Yeah.
So like it's hard selling sports cards is hard because of that reason because everybody wants the rookie.
The only thing in basketball is Wemby, essentially.
Yeah,
and then
you're still chasing him now, basically.
Right, yeah, 2 years, 2 years in, essentially, yeah. And then this year for football was Jaden and Caleb, I guess. But that's really it.
And Caleb didn't do anything, like people aren't spending high dollar on Caleb.
Right.
And Jaden Daniels, he was a top prospect, but he didn't really start taking off until like halfway through. So that's when
their roles reversed partway through the season. Caleb was the big ticket going into the season, and Jaden was like, no one was really buying the Commanders. And then it flip-flopped. It was like, wait a second, we got it backwards. And you saw Jaden prices going up.
And the other problem is the fact that these top players don't have autographs and products because they're signed with Fanatics or Topps.
Right.
And the autographs they do have is unlicensed product.
Right.
And everybody's like, oh, I don't like licensed product. Well, now you do because now you want these autographs.
Want the auto, yeah.
So are they worth much now or not? Because like y'all talk so much junk about it in the past.
Yeah.
So, but I think when that switch happens with Fanatics and Panini and all that, I think in 2026 is when it's supposed to happen.
It's coming up soon, yeah.
I think that you'll see it jump back up in products.
Yeah.
But also I think you'll see a surge in the prices of products again, which is not good because
interesting.
It's not right now. It's not really that affordable for the normal person.
Right.
Well,
that's mostly due to break culture. In my opinion, because of the way that you can buy cards now, you don't have to go to your hobby store and spend $300 on a box. Somebody can go and spend $500 on that same box, sell you one team for $40.
Yeah.
And you get all the cards that you wanted anyway. And then they make $200 or $300 off the box. The store makes more money. You know what I mean? Like everybody makes more and you spend less as the end consumer, right? So it's kind of an interesting.
And that's why the card shops bump the prices up because they know that the breaker's
going to make his money back either way.
Like, this box could be sold for $150. They're going to sell it for $300 now because they know that breaker's coming and get it for $150 and making $400 profit off one box.
Yeah. He's right. He spends $300 on it. He sells each team for $25, and that's $600. He's made $200. He's made $300. So
it just sucks when you're doing that. Like if you're not somebody that has a following in the sports card world, like you could set that. Like when I was doing it on the Tar Heel Wheel page, I would sit there for 6-7 hours, dude.
Oh yeah.
Just sitting there with like 4 spots sold and just be like, oh my gosh, like,
yeah.
And if you can't cancel it because like then you would lose.
It'd be tough to do it live for me. I've done some stuff live with sports cards and stuff, but typically what I do is at some point I give up and I just I open the packs and ship out the stuff that sold and keep the stuff that didn't.
Well,
And like
that's what I've done in the
it's
past.
just
I remember I forgot what product it was, but it was like a basketball product. I forgot what it was, but it just came out, and I went and bought 2 hobby boxes of it, and it was like a trash product, dude. Like I probably spent $400, like 200 each box on it, and I don't even know if I made $100 back,
right.
like selling spots. And finally, I was just like, you know what?
I
I
can't
was
sit
selling
here
spots
all
for like,
day. Yeah.
I was selling spots for like $3, dude.
Right.
And the product, and I will never, I forgot what the name of it is, but I will never buy that product now. And I've learned with the sports cars that like a year ago, 2 years ago, when I first got into doing my business, like I would go buy Zenith and stuff like that and try to do breaks and like resell
Yeah.
cards. And I realized, no, that's
Yeah.
a waste of money.
What is it like? This one, Status, NBA
Ah,
Status. It's like almost all base cards. I don't even know if they do it anymore, but it's a Panini product.
I've never seen that one, but it was
Yeah.
like I forgot what the cards were like. The cards like had like some yellow,
Like
purplish
these are
colors to
just
them.
like, I mean, every
Oh
single
yeah,
card is a base card, pretty much. You know, like there was a
yeah, like,
way to tell. Like, see, some of them were shiny, and then there were some that had, you know. But it's like what's the base or the football product that's like, well,
oh
Absolute's
yeah,
a good one. That's like, if you buy Absolute
yeah,
retail, it's like all, it's just all
yeah.
base.
Absolute, Zenith, and all
Yeah,
those, and Prestige. Like I mean, I've done breaks with those and stuff, but like to do breaks on whatnot, you're not making money off that. So I don't even buy that product. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really bought many like sports cards in general in the
right.
past close to a year now. I mean, I
Sure.
probably bought a little bit here and there, and only to do breaks with. Like for me to open for myself, no, because I did the classic move in the beginning where I was buying boxes and buying stuff and saying I'm about to open it because I couldn't keep it sealed, and I'm like I'm gonna open it, look, and then resell. And when I first started, if I spent $200 on a box, after piecing it together and selling on eBay, I can, if it was like a dud box, I can make close to half my money back sometimes, maybe
Mm,
80% of the
yeah.
money. And there was a few times I made more than what the box cost, but 80% of the time you're losing.
Yeah.
And I made the classic where I did that. I learned from that, because
Yeah.
I won't do that now. But now, like when I go look for products, I look for products just to do breaks with, and if it's not a top product, I'm not buying it anymore. Like I'm not
Yeah.
buying Zenith.
It's
I'm
got to
not
be something
buying
that people want. You know.
like
Like,
Prism. Prism is what people want
yeah.
because everybody wants that Prism rookie.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or you can
and
weave in, you know, you could do, especially because you can get Prism retail, and you can get like um, select retail, right? And good products, but they're blasters, so you don't get as many, you don't have as good a chance as that the big stuff,
yeah,
right? But you can weave in some like multiple box
oh
like
yeah,
the
you
guy that I
definitely.
break sports cards with, he'll do he'll do 15 or 20 boxes at a time, and it'll be like one hobby of a good product, a bunch of select blasters, and then like
Yeah,
he'll throw in some, Mosaic's a good product that you can get blasters for retail, for football at least, not for basketball, I don't
yeah.
think, but you know what I mean, like. So there's
Matter
ways to make it work with the cheaper product. Like you can weave in some cheaper product with some more expensive product to make it more
yeah,
affordable for the customer, and you still get people to buy because there's a chance at the good stuff, right? So
yeah. I mean, yeah. There's definitely ways to do it in there.
so
I forget.
since we're talking about breaks, before we end this episode, um, let's speculate on how we would what would you do, how would you break, like if you had 10 boxes, hobby boxes of Topps Chrome, or if you had a bunch of Series 2 boxes or something, like what's your preferred break method for VeeFriends cards?
If I'm doing, let's just speak top Chrome because that's kind of what everybody wants to hear. Okay, if I'm getting a hobby box, I mean, if I'm just doing one box, I'd do it by the pack, just like
Well,
I would
yeah,
do
if
a
it's
Series
one
2
box,
box.
yeah.
But if I'm doing, I mean,
I'm
if I
talking
had
about
10
10 or 12
boxes,
boxes. Yeah.
I think if I had 10 boxes or something like that, or even 5 boxes, I would probably do a character break.
Character.
Now, would I do character break and split the spots out, like have the actual character break plus Magna cards, or up cards, and have a spot?
I
I
don't
don't
think you
think
could do
so.
that.
I mean, I know it's been mentioned, but the only way you could do that is if you're breaking like multiple cases, like there's 2 or 3 cases. Then you could get people to buy in on the erupt spots and stuff. But again, who? I mean,
But why would I
people,
buy? Why would I buy the? I don't think that doesn't even make sense to me.
it
Why
doesn't
would I
make sense
buy
to
the
me.
character if I'm not getting the
Yeah,
variants? Like I'm not
yeah,
getting
because
the
I mean,
inserts.
it's been mentioned, and I just think personally, I don't think financially there's a good way to do it
Now I've
because if
seen
you,
people do sports cards where they sell a separate spot for like a redemption. If there's a redemption
yeah,
in the break, you get the redemption, even
yeah,
if it goes to a team. I've seen that happen before, but that's a
I just
little
think
bit different than like like you buy a character and you don't get any of the inserts. Like that doesn't seem
yeah,
cool.
like yeah, because I know it's been mentioned and some people were talking about that, and I was like, that's cool and all, but like if you're just like now you wouldn't buy a character, you would just buy the erupt spot. So any erupt that got pulled, you would get.
Right, I understand, but
Not,
why would the person? Why would I buy the Heart Trooper spot if I'm not going to get the Heart Trooper erupt if it's pulled? I wouldn't want. I don't want all the Heart Trooper base cards. That
I
doesn't make
guess
any
the only
sense.
one, the only thing that makes sense would be is if like you just want to collect like the Heart Trooper plus the parallels that come along with it, maybe just not the
Right,
inserts. But
you
again,
get the variants, but not the inserts.
and then
Gotcha.
you would have to then there's like a Heart Trooper insert spot and a Heart Trooper.
Yeah, see, that's too much.
But
Now,
if you
I
couldn't
could
do just
see,
Heart Trooper.
I could see with Topps Chrome once you have a scenario where like, okay, half the boxes have been opened, right? And everybody's pretty much completed their set, their
Yeah,
base set, right? Like everybody that's in the community now has completed a base set. I could see a scenario where, much like sports cards, like we don't ship base, right? You know what I mean? Like a lot of breakers
yeah,
don't ship base cards. I could see that becoming a thing inside of Topps Chrome. And then you could sell just the manga spot because nobody wants
yeah,
the base cards anyway, right?
yeah, because everybody be
So,
chasing that. I think in
yeah,
the
I
beginning,
could see that.
I think in the beginning it'll be beneficial for everybody financially just to do character
You should have
break.
a
You pick
character.
that,
Yeah.
you hit a erupt, you get the erupt.
Well, it's a lot easier to do character breaks in Chrome too than it is in Series 2 because there's only 100 characters.
Now, what about sketch cards? You would have to have a different spot for sketch
Interesting. Or you could random them.
because there's some
But
sketches that. Did you see the what's the MMA fighter
yeah,
Josh?
Yeah, Josh Emmett,
Did you see
yeah,
his
yeah,
inserts?
yeah, and some of them don't even have characters on them. So that's an interesting thought. But I think that you would have to because there's going to be so few and far between. I think that those become random to the people that were in the. You do essentially a buyer's givey type situation. Everybody that bought in gets a chance, right? That's how we would do. Um, every breaker has their own way of doing like multi team cards and stuff, you know. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
some people are like, oh, it's the top card, the top person. If it's 2 cards, or if it's side by side, it's the leftmost, or if it's 4 people, it's top left, or or whatever. Um, most of the time, most of the breakers that I've worked with do. If there's more than one thing on there, it's they roll a dice or whatever. It's a flip of the coin essentially to whichever team goes to. And if it's something like completely random, that's like, doesn't make sense for a team, they'll just random it to everyone that's in the break essentially. And if you bought 2 teams, you get 2 chances. You know what I mean? It's like based on that.
Yeah.
So
I just think in the beginning it's going to be fair and good for everybody just to sell by either packs or character. That way it gives everybody the opportunity to get, every spot, every insert, of that
Yeah.
particular character. Or if you're buying by the packs, you have the opportunity to hit anything.
Yeah. I can assure you that I wouldn't buy into a break where I was just buying a insert spot. I don't
No, because
see that happening.
I mean, because at
I
that
mean,
point you're just straight,
but at the
you're
same
just
time,
straight gambling.
well, yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like buying the gift goat spot, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
but
like
I've
me,
never bought the
like
gift goat spot, so there's that.
no. Well, that's like me yesterday, which I know Vizzy's hooking it up, but and I used my credit card for this, but I bought in to his 10 box break, and I bought the Wizards box for like 160.
Yeah,
Didn't hit one Wizard,
right.
so now he's going to hook it up. So I'm not probably
Yeah,
getting
he's going to give you
$160.
something. Yeah,
I'm not getting 160, but there's sometimes with the gift code, like, yeah, you might get something, but you ain't getting a $900 worth of stuff or something like
no,
that. So like if you're buying in those spots like that, which is crazy, but like you should know. I mean, most people who do buy it, they do know that like, hey,
I'm not going to get
there's
one.
a
Yeah,
there's a chance that I just dropped $800
right.
for nothing.
There's a much larger chance that I did that than there is that I get the card. So
Yeah, there's a
yeah,
large chance that that's
yeah,
happening. So,
yeah.
which is crazy for me. I'm just like, man, that's
It's a
like
big
I
gamble.
understand that. Yeah, that's a gambling move right here because like I know that spot. Like you feel like that spot should be cheaper because of the risk involved, but it's
Yeah,
not because
yeah.
uh, yeah, I would never be able to buy a gift
Even
card spot.
buying the zealous zombie spot for me sometimes is like I bought it in the last 10 box break that Whiskey did, or the last one I bought into, and I ended up paying $63 or something for it. The very first card in the very first pack was a zealous
Was it,
zombie. You should see how terrible this card is. Whiskey
they did
mentioned it on
mention,
stream. Did you hear him?
yeah,
And then
yeah.
I made a comment about it, and Ben was like, "No, it's really bad." I got it yesterday or the day before. I got it, I guess it was Friday because it was before I left to go out of town. It was really bad. Like
Now let
it
me
looks
ask.
like somebody took a blunt object and scraped it. Like
Oh,
it's bad.
now
I'll
let me
try to
ask
get a
you
good
this:
picture of it and send it to you.
when you are in the breaks and like say that you get into a 10 box break and you're feeling good, you're like, man, I know I'm about to hit something big. How long within the break? Because it happens to me a lot, and I
Do you
always
get
think of anybody else.
discouraged?
That how long within the break do you start realizing like, oh, this is not the break for this character?
Yeah. So I got what you're saying. I don't know if there's like a time limit or if there's a number of packs or whatever, but that's an
Yeah.
interesting question. What's funny about that break? I bought 4 characters in that break because I got a couple of them for like $10 ish, right? I got the Sensible Sommelier for like $10, and I got a couple other ones for in the $10 to $12 range. And then I went all out on the zombie. I only got one of one of the other characters too. And I think I got 4 or 5 Sensible Sommeliers, and I got 2 or 3 of the other character. But I got one zombie, and it's might as well not exist. And then I got one of the other characters in Impala or whatever it was. And like I was like, well, how did I only get one of these? Like this is a pretty common card, But you just never
Now,
know.
let me ask you this strategy right here, because I've been thinking about this. Because I see, and I know Whiskey does it, and I understand why he does it, but like, or kind of do. Is it beneficial to jump in these like 10 and 20, $50 $50 breaks and buy like some cheap spots to get a bunch of the like characters that like no one really wants because you get them at cheap price to resell? Is that kind of like what that is for?
So
Pretty
I
much?
think a lot of the time for Whiskey specifically, I can't speak for him, but I think that because he's still chasing that pristine in every card,
Got you.
and so he just buys characters that he doesn't have one yet, hoping to
Okay,
get one.
that makes sense
Um,
because
yeah,
I'm like because I see. Well, I know that Pokey now he's declared that he's chasing all Halloween characters like now.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
he's going all out on all of them. So like I get that now, but it's like I see a lot of people like buying just random off characters,
Yeah.
and that they're getting. I'm like, are they getting them? Are we doing this as a strategy for a resale
Yeah,
or
I think maybe for me, it would be like, you know, I bought those characters because I got them in the $10 range. If I hit 3 or 4, you know, I can flip them on whatnot or whatever, and maybe make at least make my money back. But also, you have to think that eventually, as the brand grows and more people join the community, more people begin to like those characters, and then you have buyers for it. You see what I'm saying? So you could be playing the long game in that case, right? Like, you're not going to flip a, you know, whatever, a magnanimous Maltese today, but eventually somebody's going to come along and really love that dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
or need it to complete their set.
yeah,
So, like,
and so
okay.
then you have one. You know, so
That's kind of because right now I got like Shrew Sharks cores and Rhino cores out the yin yang now, and it's kind of making me mad because like those two characters, I'm like, okay, I haven't really seen anybody like really going hard on them, and now that I'm actually, it's kind of like when you buy a brand new car, you never saw that car before, and then you buy that car, and then like you see that car everywhere. Like
yeah,
now that I'm like trying to get some, you know, Shrew Sharks and stuff like and the Rhinos, I see other people in there fighting me for the spot, and it's funny because B Town John took the Shrew Shark spot from me, and he's a Jolly Jacko person too. I'm like,
oh
okay,
yeah,
is this a common trait now that like the Jackos are going after the Sharks now, and that like
right.
you see what I'm saying? Like, hold on, is this something that
What's
goes
going on
along with it?
here? Yeah,
But
that's funny.
but yeah, so yeah, I was just worried. I was just wondering about that,
Yeah,
and but also I guess it takes also the gamble of hitting the cores, the rares, the epics of these cards that no one really wants. But if you can get a spot for say $12
yeah,
and you hit a rare, very rare or epic of that card, even a 101,
yeah.
you're
You got your money
flipping
back.
that
Yep.
like, and even if that 1 of 1 only sells for 150, you still made
Yeah.
130.
10 times. Yeah.
So okay, so yeah, I kind of was like, man, maybe I should play that game,
Yeah.
especially what I'm doing. It may help me out.
It's a lot
But
easier to
before we
gamble. It's a lot easier to gamble with $10 or $12 too, to buy a, you know, a lesser valued character than it is to gamble for the gift goat spot. You
Oh,
know?
yeah, I'll never be. I'll have to hit that in like a box I open or a pack I buy. That's the only
Right.
way I'm
Yeah.
hitting it.
Same
So before we end this last this episode, I
episode.
got a question.
Okay.
Got a question for you. I'm gonna start trying. I think this is what we may need to start
Uh
doing.
oh.
Like next time, maybe you hit me with a question, and we just go rotate
Oh
at the end of
no.
each episode.
All right.
So, would you rather fight would you rather fight one horse-sized hamster or 100 hamster-sized horses armed with tiny swords?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to imagine a horse-sized hamster, like, because hamsters have like little claws, right? So like a horse-sized hamster would have kind of big claws, but 100 tiny hamsters or 100
Yeah,
tiny horses
with swords.
with swords. Wait, I'm taking the horses.
You
I'm
taking the
fighting the
horses?
horses. Horses
No,
don't have hands.
okay, but say they got the swords in their mouth.
Oh, okay. I think I'd still take the horses. It'd be like getting stuck with a pin. You know? I think I'm taking the horses.
Because I really think that um like a horse-sized hamster, that would just be scary
That
to
sounds
see.
terrifying.
Yeah, like that would be really
First
scary
of all,
to
you would
see.
immediately assume it was a bear. Like that would be your
Yeah,
first thought. Is like, why is there a bear in my house? Like, what's going
and
on?
the claws.
Yeah,
Like the claws could be
yeah.
vicious. Like
And
right
those
now they're
weird
just
teeth,
little.
you know?
Yeah. So and also I had a weird dream last night. We can
Oh,
end it after this. So it was wild. So I heard like I have a bearded dragon that's my son's, right?
okay.
And so I guess I was like in my room or something. I heard something going crazy, and I walked into the living room, and like the bearded dragon had like knocked the lid off of the cage. The cage was like broken for some reason, and it was just like sitting there on this little log thing, just staring at me, and like it was in that pose of like it's about to leap.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
about to leap at me. And I'm not a big lizard person to begin with. Like I don't really touch it. I will when he gets scared sometimes, not anymore, but like I'll grab it, just taking the risk of getting bit, which it's never bit me. But So it lunged at me, and like I blocked it, and it like latched onto my hand, and like I'm like, ah, ah, and like I kind of like flared it off, and it like went across the room, and then all of a sudden, I have a dog that I don't have a dog. I have this small dog now that sees it and runs over there and grabs the bearded dragon, just like, and like
Oh no.
tears it to shreds. But it didn't actually tear it to shreds because when I walked over, because at first when it tore it to shreds, I was like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
holy crap. And then like I walk over there and the bearded dragon's just like sitting there looking at me. And what he tore apart was a big onion. And then I woke up. And I woke up like, what just happened?
That
Like,
is interesting.
That's wild. I mean, that's what I dreamed about the last 30 minutes of my sleep yesterday when I don't really think I slept, but maybe like a 2 hour sleep
Yeah.
anyway.
Interesting.
So
That
yeah.
poor
So
bearded onion.
yeah. Because like I went over and was like expecting just to be like blood and stuff everywhere. And,
Right.
and just like sitting there just looking at me and there's like an onion just shredded. And I'm like, what? And then where did this dog come from? I don't even have a dog.
That's your
So
neighbor's dog.
it was a lot. It was a lot. So
That's
yeah,
funny.
I figured that'd be a cool way. But yeah.
Try to remember our dreams for the next episode.
So,
Cool. Well, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next
peace
one.
out, guys.